In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how I make a carnation out of gum paste. To start with, you'll need a 22 gauge wire and some white floral tape. Make a small ball at the top of the wire. Remember to stretch your floral tape, as this will make it adhere to the wire easier. I'm using a fine stamen which I've cut in half. So you need 2 stamens for the carnation, and attach that to the ball at the top of the wire. You don't want it to be too big, maybe about the size of half of a pea. And once you've made your ball, just tear off the end of the floral tape. And using a pair of fine scissors, trim off the top of the stamens. You don't want the little balls at the top. And it should look like this. Now I'm going to roll out my carnation. I'm going for a two-tone effect, so I'm using 2 different colors of paste. For the first color, I've cut out 6 small pieces in white. Now using red, I'm going to layer the small white pieces between the red paste. So one underneath and one on the top, and then roll it out to flatten it and adhere the paste together. And what this does is it gives you a two-tone effect. So essentially you're going to have the carnation itself is going to be mostly white inside, and you're going to have red just on the tips. And when ready, cut out with the larger carnation cutter. Don't worry about lining it up perfectly. It actually looks better if it's a little bit uneven. In between, I'm storing my gum paste in my flower storage board. This is to prevent the paste from drying out while you're working. And here I'm going to repeat these steps to create 3 more cutouts. So now I have my 3 cutouts. What you need to do now is soften the ends of the petals. I'm using a bit of corn flour on my board so that it doesn't stick, and I'm going to use a toothpick to roll the petals just gently. Notice I'm doing this on the flower cutout board and rollout board and not the foam pad. This is because you really want these petals to be nice and thin and also roughly, and you get a better effect using the hard board than you do using the pad. that it's rolled out, I'm going to put my first layer onto my wire. Just slide the petal up onto the wire and using a little bit of edible glue, just lightly dab the inside of it. You don't want to put too much, it'll get too sticky. Just a little bit on the inside. And push all the way up to the bowl that you made and fold it in half. Now we're going to fold our petal again. Just put a light dab of glue. And you're folding it up sort of in a figure of 8 shape. So notice I folded that up again, and then I'm going to turn it over and repeat with the other side. And that's the center of your carnation. I'm repeating with the next layer, just rolling out the petals, softening the edges, making it nice and fluffy. And again, just a light dab of glue, edible glue. Not too much, you don't want it too sticky. Just in the center. You can pull that up and just form it around the center. Again, don't work with it too much. If you fiddle with it too much, you're likely to push it off of the wire. You just want to push it up just so that it sticks. And once it's held, just kind of let it find its own place, fall into place on its own. So that's your second layer. Now adding the final layer to the wire, just like before, just a little dab of glue in the center, and again just push it up lightly. Don't try to perfect it, let it fall into place where it will. Just want to hold it just so that it sticks. And that's your carnation. Now you want to hang your carnation upside down so that the petals fall nicely. Next we're going to create the base for the carnation. Here I've rolled a small piece of paste and stuck it through the third largest hole. So not the largest hole, the one just a bit smaller. And I've rolled out my paste to flatten it. So this is creating what they call a Mexican hat. Then take it out of your pad and I use the paintbrush because it's easiest. Roll it out onto your board so you can get close up to the little piece that you've created with the foam pad. And just roll it out nice and flat. And using your calyx cutter, and just cut out the calyx. Now I'm going to place it back into the hole here to soften the petals. making a small indentation into the center of the calyx, and this is just going to give you that hollow long effect that you have on the calyxes of the carnation. And here I'm threading the calyx onto the wire. And you want to put a little dab of glue onto the calyx so that it will, onto the underneath the flower so that the calyx will stick. Here I'm just cutting the fine petals that you have at the end of the calyx, just using my fine scissors. 3 little pinches at the base of the carnation. And again, hang it upside down. Now I'm dusting with red and green petal dust. And using green floral tape to finish wiring my carnation. Just takes a light dusting. You've already added most of the color in the paste. Just a light dust just to bring it to life. And that's your carnation finished.